Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me again.
Good to have you. We are talking about Dallas becoming a financial center as well as seeing a general trend away from Manhattan and towards other locations, particularly in the Sun Belt. Finance has become about a 15% increase in Florida. Charlotte, North Carolina, home to Bank of America, has more than 8% of its workforce employed in finance. Phoenix is at 6.9. 6.8% in Dallas, 6.5% in New York. So we see some of those comparisons there. And then data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that Texas investment banking and securities employment has increased 111% over the last 20 years, 27% since the pandemic. And we're seeing the number of people employed in finance overall has risen 13% in Texas since 2019. That's compared with just up 2% in New York. So we are seeing some relocation here, including towards Dallas. Some of your thoughts on some of these migratory trends we're seeing and the impact we can kind of surmise on real estate from this.
Man, where to begin? Let's start with the easy one. Strategically, you have people that are wanting to get out of a large city and go to areas where there's more room to play, to spread out, to do different things in better weather, less people theoretically. But I think the other side is maybe strategically, it is also one of those things where if something happened to Wall Street, the entirety of Wall Street could be in a large scale problem, whereas now it's spread out over a region instead of just one specific area. So, I think you get some defense from that side from people trying to attack it and do different things. From this side, it allows people to kind of pick and choose where they want to go and live the lifestyle they want to live instead of just being in one area of the world or one city of New York where taxes and everything else are high.
Yeah, I mean, increasingly, you're going to be able to work where you want to work instead of where you have to work, right? We're moving away from if you want to be in finance, you absolutely have to be in Manhattan and New York City. Um, and I think also this kind of ties in a little bit to a topic we talk about often, and that's all the headlines you see about problems in office. And, a theme we've hit is some of this is not a national office problem. Some of this is a migration issue where some of these places that don't have good quality of life, and, unless you're making a lot of money, Manhattan's not a great quality of life for you. It's just so high cost. We're seeing other areas do pretty well, including the Sun Belt, including, and I'm always hitting this, if you have policies that promote higher quality of life, it's going to be good for real estate. And if you don't, you're fighting a headwind. You're going against the
Yeah.
tide. And I think this is just data that's kind of pointing to that's going to be an ongoing trend. Places where people want to live are going to be increasingly places that do well, and places that people want to get out of. You're going to continue to see people migrating out as well as businesses migrating out. And I think finance is just kind of hitting this.
Well, I mean, the other side of this as well, think about it. If you're if you're a finance professional living in New York City, you might only be able to live in a 100 or 200 square foot place that may have 12-foot ceilings, and you got to build platforms and climb ladders to actually make use of the space because it's the only thing that's even affordable for a finance professional. So I think the reality is you're getting to move to different areas with better lifestyles, more space. Um, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. And I guess the other side is, you're really not forced to be in these buildings that either work and or residential buildings that were built in the 1920s or early 1900s that are now considered Class A properties when they shouldn't be. So I don't know. There's a lot that goes in this, and it just makes sense that it's all moving out of New York.
Yeah, just another data point here is JP Morgan Chase now has more employees in Texas than it does in New York State. So I think I think finance is just another data point here, pointing to some of the same migration trends we're seeing and some of the trends that are benefiting some urban cores. Um, Hurting other ones, as well as, some of this is going to be a little bit of flight even out of urban cores. Some of these employees are going to be more in suburb locations in Texas too,
Yeah,
also.
absolutely.
So I think this is just confirming trends we're seeing elsewhere. Okay, Jeff, thanks for the insights. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Visit our website, selectfincap.com. Subscribe to our newsletter there and also get updates on new investment opportunities in the commercial real estate space that try to take advantage of these kind of trends. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.